Well, hello YouTube. Welcome back once again to Harley Day Rider. Good old HDR out here on this lovely Tuesday evening on November 1st on the 2011 Harley Electric Glide. Now I had some of you asking out there about doing a walk around the bike here a little bit and show you the bike. I'd like to do that, but well, there's nowhere to stop out here in the countryside, so we'll have to find out if we can find a place to park or not and take a little walk around the bike. See these folks here? We talked about archery hunting in Pennsylvania at one time, and that's what they are doing right now. They're archery hunting. Now what makes that a little dangerous is that means they're out in the woods tromping around, and they're going to be moving the deer around. So if they're moving the deer around, you got to be very careful out here, because who knows where those deer are going to start running. And that's probably something I didn't even consider today when I fired the bike up and decided to take a little ride out here in the countryside. But the fall foliage is beautiful. Thanks for everybody's been commenting about your fall foliage. And I think the one that struck me as being interesting was in someone in Florida who said they don't really get the changing of the leaves like this. I don't know when that would happen for you, or if it ever happens, but here I guess it starts happening around October 1st or so, and all the leaves will be off the trees here as we get more rain and wind naturally to blow all these leaves off the tree, and then everything once again will be dead until spring, till you get that rebirth of the spring foliage coming back, I guess. You know, they call it the fall foliage because it's beautiful. I mean, the trees are absolutely beautiful when you're riding through the countryside. So yeah, thanks for all the great responses on your work spouses out there. We talked about that in the last ride, and it's very interesting to hear all your stories. I was going to ride the motorcycle to work today, but I got up this morning and I couldn't do it, man. My phone was showing 41 degrees. And 41 degrees is, so if you get on the bike and you factor in the wind chill factor when you're cruising down the road, and you're probably talking about, it feels more like 36, 35, somewhere around there. And as you can see, if you can see, I didn't buy the soft lowers yet, because every time I think about buying them, I think, well, I'm going to be done for the riding for the season, so why worry about it? I did tell Mrs. HDR, though, if I buy them, I said I like to ride, early in the springtime, so I get out there when it's still a little chilly around. It would help then, but so be it. So I didn't buy them, and that's what I'm left with, making that choice in the morning. But I got off of work today. I came out of work and I started looking around, and man, it was 78 degrees. November 1st, 78 degrees. I think we set a record high today, which is pretty cool. But, and I told her, so when I get home from work, I'm going to take the bike out and take a ride. But getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning for work, man, go to bed at 10, get up at 4, that's what, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. That's about 6 hours of sleep. That's pretty normal for me. But then, I mean, we work extremely hard at work. I'm sure most of you do. And you just get wore out, man. You get to that point where I couldn't keep my eyes open. Decided to go home. I laid on the couch, took a little half-hour snooze, and woke up. My wife was home from work, and I said, "I know, hon, what do you think?" She goes, "Take the bike out and take a little ride." She said, "Because you know what, you're not going to be able to ride much longer," and she's right. So I wanted to take the bike out. So pretty horses right there, huh? I wanted to take the bike out and get a little ride. So she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I don't know. I'll do the short loop, or I got long loops and short loops, and you probably have your standard rides around your house where you take the bike out and burn off a little gas, burn off a little steam, and that's just what I'm doing now." So So I said, what are you going to do, hon? I'm just going to take off here for just a short while. She goes, well, she's outside right now burning some boxes and some old wood that we had laying around the house there, and getting some of the beer cases burned out of the basement, actually, I guess is what she's up to right at the moment. So I threw on a pair of boots and grabbed my trusty helmet and my trusty Ghost HD camera, threw that on the helmet, and decided to take a little spin. So here we are. She said she's going to be cooking dinner by the time I get back. I don't know. I won't be out that long, so I doubt it. But this isn't going to be one of my 2 or 3 hour journeys out riding around. So she, I said, what are you cooking, hon? She goes, well, I'm going to cook some chicken. I said, oh, man, that sounds good. She goes, you might not like it. I said, why? There's a dog down here. Hopefully the dog's kind of a mellow dog. There's 2 dogs. I said, why? She said, well, it's going to be chicken with some kind of broccoli cut up in it. I said, hey, as long as you're cooking it, I'm sure it's going to be very tasty. And I'm sure that's going to be the case. Mrs. HDR is a wonderful cook. She just doesn't like to do it. So, but we both cook. We talked about that before, too. I mean, we both cook. I mean, I cook enough where I wanted to open up a restaurant. My good old buddy Mike Killy 7 said, he actually Facebooked me one night, and we were chit-chatting. He said, don't do that, man. He said, because you're going to end up hate cooking. And he's probably right. But I watch all those shows like Triple D, you know, diners, dive-ins and drives, diners, drives and dive-ins, whatever, Triple D. And I love hearing about those folks that started restaurants. And not, you know, they got the famous burger, or they got the famous coleslaw, or something they're famous for it. I'd love to do that. I'd have a lot of great little recipes I come up with it. I would love to be able to have a restaurant and do that. But on the basis of my buddy Mike Killy 7 and his great wisdom, and being he's a professor of the college, I would say I shouldn't do that. So I didn't. But I do cook a lot around home for me and the missus, and for the kids when they come over. They have their specialties they like for me to cook. So we do that, and we have a good time, you know. I mean, I like to make decent food. Sometimes I make pretty fattening stuff, you know, some deep fried stuff, but be that the case. But anyway, yep. So on the money there, Mrs. HDR is, as I said, a wonderful cook. So we were down here not too long ago. This is the Bullpen restaurant, where they have Wednesday night and Sunday bike nights and bike days. Right there's a lovely Bullpen right in front of you. So if you're ever in the Pennsylvania region, and it's a Wednesday night, or it is a Sunday afternoon, come down and let me know you're in town, and we'll go to the Bullpen for a bike night, or a bike day, one or the other. So we went for that ride the other day on with my friend Ray and Pam, and Mrs. HDR and myself. That was on Saturday. I told you guys I might film some of that, and I would have, but there was a problem. And that problem was, in the earlier video when I went down to do the mileage sign off for my mileage challenge, for some reason, who knows why, I didn't turn the camera off. I just put it in the saddlebag, and by the time I went to use it, some hours later, it was absolutely dead. And then get this one. Here's one of these stories where, you know, you have to have something. Remember, we talked a long time ago about stuff, about having a lot of stuff. Well, I bought my Cenas. I think they're, what are they? I guess the S10s. I bought a set for me and Mrs. HDR. I got her modular helmet ready. I got it all wired up, and I said, hey, we go on that ride Saturday. We'll be able to chit-chat through the day. It'd be nice, you know, be able to talk on the bike. We haven't used them. I've owned these things for a year, and we haven't used them together. Excuse me. So she said, okay, well, first of all, she didn't like the modular helmet. She said it was like wearing like a brick on her head. It was so heavy. so she didn't want to wear it. But before that, I put the Sena on. I clicked the Sena and hit the power button, hit the power button, hit the power button. Nothing happened. I was like, are you kidding me? These are dead. Now, I've charged them, but they're dead. So I took them back in the house. I said, well, the heck with that too. That we can't talk together. I'm not filming anything. We're just going to ride and have a good time. So she grabbed her 3/4 helmet because she likes wearing it better and put that upon her head. So anyway, that night I come home. This car's like right up my ass because he has somewhere he has to be that's very important. Probably get a gallon of milk or some crap. And I'm just motivating along and talking to you guys. Anyway. So on that night we got home, I went up, put the Senas on charge, and here, believe it or not, I haven't used them a whole lot. Paid a lot of money for those. I apparently forgot how to turn them on. You know, instead of just hitting the button on the back, anybody that has a Sena knows that you got to hold the jog dial down when pushing the button on the back, and it turns it on. So there you have it. Wonder if this car will go around me if I'll come up here and just stop somewhere. Oh well, let's crank her up a little bit. So yeah, I forgot how to turn them on. So, you know, dummy me, I guess. Sixth gear, you know, on any good given motorcycle, you're going to blow a car away anyway. You know, you got to crank her up and go, and it's going to go. All right, but yeah, so they probably were fine. I just forgot how to turn them on. I don't use them much. I don't even use it much when I'm by myself here, so. But anyway. And folks, this is not riding your own ride. I am giving it a little gas. I am kicking my butt out of here, so get away from that black sedan there coming up my backside. Hopefully he goes down towards Washington and I'll go straight towards Hickory, and it'll be a perfect match. Well, that's about all my stories. I don't know how much more we'll be riding this season because the weather is turning quickly. I mean, right now I got my mesh jacket on, but I took the liner out and I'm very comfortable. It's showing it's still about 74 degrees out, so it's very, very comfortable. And just a really, really good time to ride. And but we rolled the clocks back on Sunday. Don't forget that. If you observe that, I guess in Hawaii they do not observe that. But we'll be turning the clocks back, and there's a bike sitting right there for some reason. No, it's for sale. That's why it's sitting there. Nice bike sitting there. It looked like a Heritage. But yeah, so we'll be turning the clocks back. That will give me more time in the evening and make it a little lighter in the evening for a little bit longer. But regardless, if the weather drops to a certain point, where in the hell is that truck going? Like right in my lane. Yeah, you drive over here and I'll drive over here and we'll have a head-on collision, buddy. That sounds like a good time to me. Good. See, that car went to Washington. I got rid of him. Let's get up here a little bit. So anyway, oh, I was telling you too, when I was with the missus on Saturday, she kept saying my backrest was broken. And that wasn't the case at all. I just had it loosened up where I was kind of leaning back, you know. I mean, I was like sitting back like this a little bit in the saddle. If you can see this. So she said I felt like I was in her lap, so I took the backrest off for right now. A lot of bikes out tonight. Everybody realizes the season's coming to an end, and we have to get out and get some miles on the bike. Oh, on the mileage form, just to let you know, last year, from sometime in spring when I had to read my mileage until the end, I did 7,200 miles, somewhere around there. 7,200 miles for last season. The year before that I did 5,000 miles, which makes sense because I didn't have the bike for the whole season the year before that. So be that what it may be. Alright, we're not going to make this video any longer today. That looks like my wife's car right there, but it's not. We're not going to make this video any longer. I know I ran it a little longer there just to give you a little bit more riding time with me, and I appreciate you guys riding along. I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel, and man, I love the comments. I love feeding into the comments. I love you guys writing in, and a lot of fun chit-chatting back and forth to you there. So everybody, take care. Remember, as always, don't do what I just did. Ride your own ride. Don't try to outrun some ass at the, you know, unless they're really on your butt, unless they're really trying to catch you and kill you. Then I say, you know what, throttle down and let that bike rip, because you're going to outrun them. But don't get overconfident out there, huh? Hang the bends at your speed. Don't make them push you into a bend any faster than you need to be. I will talk to you next time, hopefully sooner than later. And we'll see how the riding season goes. So long from now, from Harley Day Rider and his trusty 2011 Harley Electric Glide, here in the beautiful fall foliage of southwestern Pennsylvania. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye for now.